Good afternoon, everyone. This is the second in Babel Street's video blog post series, analyzing context signals, what's happening in the world around us through public and commercial data to cue better decision making for national security and industry in a contested logistics arena. In today's blog post, we're going to visit the topic of technology observations that can be had because of what's been happening in military engagements lately. In particular, a more nuanced interpretation of the so what that we learned after Israel and the United States struck Iranian facilities, expressly nuclear facilities. While there are many strategic observations to make about what was a counter nuclear strike plan, some of the other technological observations are also very meaningful for understanding the trajectory of military innovation and innovation of countermeasures that are very often in a ratcheting up cycle of competition. And one of the first ratchets that our team has observed is that there is a tendency in 2025 to focus upon air defense as a means of intercepting everything from drone swarms, suicide drone swarms, let's say in Russia and Ukraine, to ballistic missiles. And the performance of aerial defense is really a complex observation in and of itself. On the first hand, you have technology, you have stealth detection, and on the other hand, you have technique and you have training. How well can one government that has received an advanced system from another operate it effectively? But I think the even bigger observation that my team wants to make is that hypersonic munitions have a really nonlinear advantage over most software-based detection to intercept capabilities. They create a nonlinear path, so software interpretation of a linear point to intercept is quite directly undermined. And that there is an offset between hypersonics and software based ADA that needs to be taken into account. Extending that observation a few degrees further, something that we're interested to observe is whether or not the US and other nation states that have advanced aerial systems, specifically attack aircraft, are going to preference stealth aircraft or preference perhaps a more basic aircraft that has an advanced munition so that the hypersonics become the stealth that is the offset against stealth detection radar systems on the ground. And one more comment about stealth detection and advanced radars that, being former Army as I am, I cannot help but make is the reflection upon how Israel overcame Iran's air defense. They overcame it through sabotage. They overcame it through a sneak attack. They overcame it on the ground. And I think that's also really important for us to understand that in modern wars, there is a ground element, even while aerial bombardment and aerial defense are directly achieving a comparison. The next observation I'd like to make is to tie two contemporary issues together. Stealth detection is largely about gallium based semiconductors. So when we hear all of these gallium trade war events happening, and we hear about China clamping down on its rare earth talent pool, something that also happened in recent weeks, we need to understand that that dual use element, it's the same gallium used for LED lights that is ultimately put through advanced purification processes to achieve chip readiness for advanced semiconductor applications, that the advanced semiconductor application that's driving the defense significance of the gallium debate is the stealth detection one we were just discussing. So we do need to watch that one in terms of how competing parties in stealth and stealth detection and overcoming of stealth detection ultimately revolves around and attempts to escape the essential ingredient that is gallium. I think the third observation that my team would like to make is a likelihood that bunker busting bombs is going to be a new trend in munitions. But the offset also needs to be taken into account, and that's ultra high performing concrete. So if we look in the world at who is already ahead in bunkers and in high performance concrete, we find ourselves needing to recognize that some of our adversaries, specifically Iran and China, are very good at high performance concrete. So the bar is now raised in terms of what's considered to be bunker busting. And the vendors in the world who build and are part of supply chains for ultra high performing concrete are going to find themselves in much higher demand because of the attention to that offset that has also been brought on by Fordow. So, with those observations, we're very excited for you to continue to join us in this journey of looking at what's happening in the world around us and really understanding how we can forecast technology and technique for modern warfare. Thank you very much.